Hello everyone, this is Nick Perry of Schaeffer's Investment Research with your chart slideshow for Thursday, January 4th. Today I am back with my weekly check of the broad market indices. In last week's chart slideshow, we basically talked about the light activity, the theme that had been talked about for the previous 2 weeks. Basically the idea that, we had Christmas, that we had the year end, basically traders moving to the sidelines, a lot of holidays. Just generally light action, and I said that I don't put a whole lot of stock in what's going on during those periods. I'll pay attention to it and keep an eye on it, but I wouldn't make any meaningful decisions based on just what happened in a couple of days action. The overall theme of what we discussed, the SPX and the Dow near their highs. Meanwhile, the RUT was moving sideways, and the comp was showing a bit of underperformance relative to the indices, kind of pulling back a little bit. And I said that's something I would keep an eye on this week. So let's go ahead and turn our attention to this week's charts. Alright, let's go ahead and start with the SPX. Usually I kind of do these en masse, and I want to just touch on each one by one to kind of get a feel for where we're at as we start the new year. So when you look at the SPX, basically the overall theme is the uptrend is still so far intact. Again, the 50-day moving average, which we've discussed, it's almost a straight line. One of the things that I'm looking at is this support right here. That's right around 1400 or so. Basically, it was the site of this peak here, was minor support here, and that's also the site of the 50-day moving average. We're seeing a pullback, over the last couple of days, a little bit of a pullback, and that's has the index pretty much near that level. So that's kind of what I'll be keeping an eye on in the coming week. Turning to the Dow, we see a very similar picture to the SPX. You've got again the straight uptrend here. You've got a little bit of consolidation here. We've kind of broken out above that. As far as levels, it's sort of choppy, but this congestion right around here seems kind of comparable to the SPX, and it also puts it right at the 50-day moving average. We'll call that right around the 122, 123 level. So on the diamonds, so that's what I'm keeping an eye on there. As far as the comp goes, again last week I noted that we'd seen a little bit of underperformance, and that was basically nothing more than you're seeing just a little bit of a rollover here, very minor. But overall, you've got this zone right here. The comp is still holding above that. It's been chopping around its 50-day moving average for a week or so now. Hasn't really broken below it. I don't know if I would call a break below a run for the hills move. Again, it's with the other indices in such strong uptrends. It seems like I'd be hard pressed to look for a sharp pullback in the comp and nothing else. But in the past we have seen the comp sort of lead rallies and declines. So if we do start to see a break below this support, that might be a sign of softening and be something to be cognizant of. But that hasn't happened yet. And last but not least on our list is the small cap based Russell 2000. We've got a zone right in this area here. It's actually maybe a little bit higher than that. My drawing skills are slightly off. But anyway, right around, 770 it looks like. You've got kind of support in place. That was resistance back in, October and November. Proved support then late November. And we've just been sort of bouncing along that. The RUT's been sort of, for a while, the RUT kind of moves different than the other indices. It's tended to lead as far as just overall outperformance. And so it tends to maybe get ahead of itself a little bit, and then you see these consolidations. So while the other indices have trended, we tend to see some of these lurches in the Russell. But right now, what you're seeing is basically a consolidation that's been in place for close to 2 months now, where it's just been consolidating the gains, the run up from the lows there. And again, overall, if you look at the 50-day moving average to smooth that out, again, you see an uptrend. As far as overall takeaways, we're pretty much starting the new year the way we ended last year, with the uptrend still intact. I mean, the overall is just, you've got this, when you can pretty much just draw a straight line with a fairly aggressive slope, and capture a good chunk of the action. It's pretty easy to call that an uptrend. Not seeing too much worrisome. The comp would be the closest thing to keep an eye on, and again, that's sort of, looks like it's weakening just a little bit, but it's not to the point that I would call that a major concern. So, as far as the week ahead, that's what I'll be looking forward to. But as always, stay tuned to the blog for further updates.